Hey YouTube, Shadow Mawile as a steal, maybe one of the better steals in this meta right now, and I'll tell you why. So, steals took actually a huge hit this season, and it's because Medicham inadvertently got a bump because the flyers are gone, right? So less flyers. The only flyer that you see now is half ground, so stuff like Registeel can only throw resisted moves, electric and focus blast at it, and everything seems to have like a drill run or dig or some sort of ground move now. So steals have kind of gone away. Um, enter. So everyone's using a Sandslash, but it is double weak to fighting. But a Sandslash has like the coverage for the Gligar and stuff like that. Registeel's around a bit, but not around as much. So I was going down the list of steals and had a Shadow Mawile, and the recommended moveset on it is Fire Fang, Fire Spin, um, and Power Punch, and I have some battles with that. But I used Fairy Wind, Play Rough, and Iron Head, and I did so well with this. And it's because the half Fairy typing neutralizes you to the fighting. You have Iron Head, like Carbings are starting to show up, so Iron Head like one shots because it's double weak to Steel. And you have the Play Rough for the Medicham. So it was an interesting thing here. As you're going to see, like even on the lead, Medicham you still take neutral to fighting, but no move is going to take me unless I have Dynamic Punch. No move is going to take me out. So I bait here because Play Rough would KO here. Even if this lands, it's going to do so much damage. So they shield. I think this is just an Ice Punch. Oh, it is a Psychic. So yeah, I'm going to shield. Good me counting in the moment. But I will get to the move here. Farm a bit. One more. I don't need to farm out too much. If they don't shield here, this will one-shot. And here we go. I just took out a freaking Medi. Out comes a Sandslash. Can I get to a move? I cannot, but that's okay. That's why you have a fighter on the back. And out comes a Charizard. So this is okay. I'll be able to either shield once now or let this go. Yeah, because I'll still get to a move. Save the shield for Medi. And get a Psychic or even Ice Punch off. Actually, Ice Punch off is all I need in this range. Shield up a Blast Burn. Again, lowered attack. Still going to hurt way more than anything that the Sandslash can throw at me. So take this out. Do not want to take any more moves here. And then I should be able to counter an Ice Punch down before they claw and whatever me here. Because you are double weak to fighting. I'm pretty sure I live here. Sorry, we're basically just cycling the flu back and forth to each other. I've been on and off sick for like a month and a half now. So Beedrill, resist the poison. Draw Run will be super effective. They come in Vigoroth. So I'm going to chip before I get out of here. I just go for the Play Rough. I probably could go for the Iron Head too, but I don't think either's going to KO. But look at that damage done. Could be a Bulldoze, so I'm just going to shield. And I end up doing a whole Fairy Wind down, which is hilarious. So Beedrill comes back in. I'm going to get some Iron Heads off here before they Poison Jab me down. So here's one. Grab a shield. I'll get another one. Grab another shield or chip this a good amount. I would expect the shield to maybe try to farm down me the rest. I'm going to see what I'm going to let them. Who am I going to come in here? Dugong. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Dugong just seems more bulky, and the counters aren't, I mean, it doesn't have counter, but the counters will be resisted obviously from Medi, even though Psychic is super effective, but between the Ice Shards and Drill Run here, it should be enough to KO here. Or maybe just short actually. But I do get the full farm down. What's in the back? Defense Deoxys. This is where now having the Icy Winds comes in huge because I lower their attack enough that I get a second one off. And by that time, the damage is done. It is so low, 2 times lowered attack, that is now basically just counter an Ice Punch range. And as you can see, they throw a Thunderbolt, but it does not matter. I'm sorry that I'm using Medi on every team. It's too good right now. It's too good. It pairs just so well with everything, right? Pretty much, because you only like the worst answer is like ghosts and flyers. So cover your ghost and flyer weakness with fairy and ice and you're fine. So they are staying in here. I'm just going to throw the Iron Head. It's probably more than enough on a Dragonite in this meta. I'll shield up anything. I'm just wondering if they can get just 2 superpowers before I do. They catch on a Lickitung, so I guess good catch. But as you're going to see here, this chip is decent. It's not amazing, right? Lickitung is super tanky, but it's decent. It's decent enough to now put this in counter range to come out with 2 Ice Punches for the Dragonite. So just take the moves. Yeah, I'm going to have to throw. I'm worried about having to... I don't want to shield Body Slam because I know they're out of move. Because I know Dragonite's out of move, so I'm going to just lose CMP anyways. So I just need to throw one, have one. I'll grab a shield here. They'll probably counter down at this point. Or Dragon Breath down. Yeah, it would have been close. Dragonite's just so glassy. Even counters are adding up there. So they have Dragon Claw. Come in here, Ice Shard. That will probably take out or put it within like 1 HP. Shield up a superpower potential here. And what is in the back? It does take out Reggie. So this is why you kind of need to cover steals when you have Mawile, right? Because it only has Steel and Fairy. Unless you're running Fire, it's Fire Fang, I think. So shield 1. I think I can live with Focus Blast or Zap Cannon, but I'm just going to shield anyways, just to ensure I get this move off. I'm going to farm a bit, and I think I catch on the Mawile. I don't know if I actually needed to, because I think Mawile could have probably Fairy Wind down from this point, but I thought, it's probably better just to let Dugong sweep this endgame. So they will Focus Blast me. It is neutral, so goodbye, that's fine. But now I can just Ice Shard down, actually. I assume I could Fairy Wind down from that point. Okay, a Sandslash. A little trickier when you're not running Fire Fang, because they're doing neutral, you're doing resisted. But they still have ice, so these are still neutral. So you're going to lose this matchup. There's not much you can do, but good chip there. And I tried to maybe I can catch them off guard and snipe. If they have an A Sandslash, they have an answer to Medi, right? So it's a little stupid trying to make that switch. Maybe I should have just stayed in there. But I think I'm going to eventually get hard countered anyways. Because if I came in Dugong, I think they have Medi in the back or something to answer Dugong, if I remember. Although I don't remember. So I got both shields. So you're saying there's a chance here. I can live 1 and I'll shield 1 probably. I do shield the dig, that's fine. Just go for the full farm down, double super effective ice shards. Am I going to take a dig here? Probably. Don't know what's in the back yet. Had I known it was a Charmer, probably would have. And unfortunately, what did I try and do? I know there are 2 moves. That's the problem. They haven't thrown any energy yet, so I just let 1 go, and they have back-to-back moves already. Yeah, so it wouldn't have mattered. I have to shield this, but then I just get charmed down, I think. Yeah, I get to a draw, but again, not enough, as we saw. And because Ice Shard and Charm are both 3-turn fast moves, they have now stuck in 2 charms. And there's nothing you can do about that. And sneaking in 2 charms just cost me that matchup, right? So, a little tricky there. Serperior. Obviously, this is where Fire Fang would be better too. I have some Fire Fang coming up. Player Off's not going to take out, so I thought, just go for the double Iron Head. It makes more sense. Good chip damage. They can get to a Frenzy. Frenzy won't take me out from here, but it'll hurt. Probably put me down to the red, so I'm just going to shield up 1 anyways. Out comes a Steelix. So, glad I got my Medi on this. I'm just going to probably throw the Ice Punch right away, just to get some chip. Well, I'll throw it before they... At least I'll fake a Dynamic Punch, but I'm throwing it before they lower my attack again. And I got a shield, so that's good. Unfortunately, I think if they have that little energy advantage and they shield up 1, they can actually... Oh, well, I'm not shielding. That's why, yeah. I think they do take this, but it's because I did not shield. So don't shield. I still take it down to 1 HP. So had I had a shield and used it, I would have done that, but that's fine. Come in here because I am a fairy and I'm a steel, so this Breaking Swipe is going to do absolutely nothing. And then I'll immediately reset. And I have a move. I might want to throw it. I do throw it in it, but the Lantern catches it. And then I'm like, oh, Lantern's going to be so tough. So I kind of just need to almost stay in here. Try and catch us. Yeah, I think I had to try and catch a Surf there. Gonna have to shield this. They still have the Serperior, which is the tricky part. They shield recognizing that I shielded for some reason. We both instant swap. We both tried to catch each other's moves. And they get to a frenzy. But now I have to just commit to the farm down. I shielded a 1, so they could be dry. Not quite dry. But now I'm going to get the Fairy Wind down. And if I think I remember this matchup, I think I end up getting to a play rough. I thought they were out of move here. But I don't know if they just did that spark by accident. But I get a play rough off. And non-lowered does take out a Lantern from there. So it was a really interesting Pokemon to use. I liked it. I did, like I said, I'm going to show you a few battles with Fire Fang. I only did 3 battles because I went 1 and 2 with this. I just find that like I put in Lantern instead of Dugong there, because with Fire Fang you have better coverage against grass, but you have worse coverage against like a lot of other stuff. So I just put in Lantern because it seems more well-rounded. Shield up a potential Moonblast there, so I do shield up. That's good. If you do shield up a Moonblast, it makes this matchup much easier. So get to second Psychic. They shield. I get to another move, so this will take out and flip switch if I want. Or they let it go and I flip switch anyways, so that's good. They have a Shadow Vic in the back, so this is good that I flipped switch here because my Lantern does not want to see Shadow Vic in the back. Almost one shot, come in Mawile, and then just get the Lantern on this to chip and absorb damage first. And I made the mistake because I got out instantly because I was like, oh, Mud Shot, I got to get out. But Diggersby has Crunch and Body Slam, so everything is resisted. That said, I still don't think it was a terrible get out because Mud Shots are super effective. Like, Mawile is just so glassy, especially the Shadow. Those Mud Shots would add up, and even resisted Body Slams are going to do like 30-40%. Like, actually, while this matchup plays out, let me actually just look up that matchup just to see how much. So Shadow, Mawile with Fire Fang, Power Punch, and Greedent with Mud Shot, Body Slam, and Crunch. Yeah, if I stay in that matchup, Greedent wins just going straight Body Slam, because those Mud Shots do 3.4% of my health, and Body Slam still does 27.4%. So it's quite a lot of damage just to stay in that matchup. And this is where I find Fire Fang and why it's ranked so low. Actually, I should have just done that. Let me actually just look up the matchups, because Fire Fang is the set move on PV Poke. Having used both, I think that I would prefer Fairy Wind and Play Rough, and I think an Iron Head, and I think it comes down to, let me see so you actually win 2 more battles with Fairy Wind. So you win 2 more battles, but you have a way worse average overall, so your losses are just harder, sort of thing. And Fire Fang versus Fairy Wind flips a ton of matchups. So if you go Fairy Wind instead of Fire Fang, you will now win Azumarill, Carbink, Mantine, Medicham with Medicham. Like I said, you saw that matchup first. Noctowl and Sableye. So that's a lot of pickups, but then you lose all the steals and all the stuff weak to fire. Cresselia, you lose Cresselia now? That's interesting. A Sandslash, both shadow and non-shadow. Steelix, makes sense, and then Trevenant. Not hitting super effective there. But in terms of meta, that's why Fairy Wind, beat Azumarill, beat Carbink, beat Medicham, beat Frostless if you're seeing some of those now. Beat Darks like Mandibuzz. Beat Charmers like A9tails. Beat Sableye, right? It's not bad. The only difference is Fire Fang, Mawile will absolutely destroy Sandslash, but it gets killed with Fairy Wind, which is not surprising. You beat Serperior with both movesets. right? So in terms of like beat Umbreon, beat Venusaur, beat Shadow Vic. So in terms of again, I just went over all the wins, but like obviously like you lose to Swampert, a Sandslash, Registeel. Registeel's close with Fire Fang, but not good with Fairy Wind. What else is meta here? Lickitung. Lickitung, you lose both. Fire Fang's actually pretty close with Lickitung. Fairy Wind is not. And then Lantern, you lose. Obviously, you lose. You have a better matchup with Fairy Wind, where because Fire Fang is resisted. And Gligar's you're going to lose because they're just going to be able to dig you. So, some wins, some losses against the main meta. If you just pair it properly, I think it actually has some play. And like I said, Steel's just got a teeth kicking it this season. Yeah, this game's over. This season, because again, think of everything that got nerfed in the past few seasons. So Trevenant, Noctowl got nerfed. So Medicham is everywhere now. And then the more important part is just everything that just now has a ground move. A Sandslash is everywhere with a Drill Run. Gligar is everywhere with a Dig. Hell, even Serperior in neutral matchups with the Frenzy is like, because I'm thinking about bringing Reggie to regionals, and even Frenzy Plant versus like the Focus Blast there takes you down to like 12, 15 health left on the Reggie, because the Frenzy Plants just add up so much. It's crazy. So Registeel taking a big hit. A Sandslash is obviously everywhere. Galarian Stunfisk, I've barely seen any this season. I'm trying to think what other steals there are. Let me just search steals. But yeah, steals have taken a huge hit. Oh, Steelix. Yeah, you still see a bunch of Steelix. I guess you see Bastions too. But you're seeing a lot more Carbinks as opposed to Bastion. So Bastion's kind of taking a hint because people would just rather use Carbink, which is not Steel. It's got that very secondary typing with the rock. And that's it. And then you go down to the next closest Steel is Escav at 104. Ferrothorn 111. Magnezone, Scizor, Berserker. Like, you're not seeing any of these. Skarmory, RIP Skarmory. Right? So there's only like 5 Pokemon here in the top 100 that are Steels. Registeel, Steelix, Galarian Stunfisk, A Sandslash, Bastiodon. And you're really not seeing a lot of Registeel and Stunfisk. Not in my range anyways. Steelix is seeing a few. A Sandslash obviously is the best answer for Gligar. And then Bastiodon, you're seeing some Bastiodons for sure. But I think you're seeing a lot more Carbinks now that is the option. So Steels have definitely taken a hint. So this one's kind of a sneaky one. I wouldn't be surprised if I use it in Halloween Cup coming up. So I got top teams for Halloween Cup coming tomorrow. The Halloween Cup meta is so open because it's a lot of unique typings that you don't see a ton of in the Open Great League. So it's I just shot the video yesterday. So it's Fairy, Bug, Ghost, Dark, and Poison are the 5 typings, right? So Poison's like really high on the list. Carbink's number 1 on the list. So if you have a lot of Poisons and you have Carbink, Shadow Mawile may actually be very, very sneaky to use in that meta. There's a lot of good Pokemon. So stay tuned to that video. It's actually like a 27-minute video because they actually like, you know how I go over like, I have 7 teams and I know how I go over like the PV Poke rankings and then I do the 7 teams. The PV Poke ranking going over took me 9 minutes to do because it's such a, like there's 20, it's not like just like, okay, we know why Medichamp's so dominant. We know why Sableye's so dominant. It's like, here's why Fortress is on this list. Here's why all these Poisons are on this list. So it's a very unique meta. So stay tuned for that tomorrow morning. And then we're probably going to do the majority of Halloween Cup. I have some Ultra League teams banked from a few weeks ago. So I'll do a couple of those. But it's probably going to be a Halloween Cup hardcore next couple weeks. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.